Okay.
Hey! Gotta catch them all. So, you leave the Pale Forest to say quite simply, yeah, all the grass out here is pale too, but still blooming. Probably patches of flowers, but you don't really notice them so much because they're pale.
Can we?
But as you
on the map,
what?
It's all pale. It's down as green.
It actually is paler there. It's just you wouldn't notice on the scale, because the little map symbol takes up the bit that's pale.
Yeah.
So what you see as you get closer is that there's this old Gothic walls. You actually notice there are parts where there are straight up cracks in the wall, like just huge fissures that are sort of fixed enough. The gates are open. As you get closer to the place, there is this large camp, and I imagine you just keep going down closer towards the road as you do.
As it hits Gil that we're like finally in Lichvale, there's like a twinge in his like hat, and he looks at Vale and he goes, "Finally here.
Time to get some answers, no?"
Let's do it.
So as you get closer to the gate, you start to get more of that sort of city noise. It's actually less of a city noise. Like the way from further inside the city is kind of not so loud. The little camp to the side is pretty loud. And as you come up, two people come up to you, and they sort of hold their hands out, but they're wearing armor and they have weapons on them. They have spears and a couple of things. They're deadless. You can tell because one of them just has a skull face. Just one of those, just nothing there. In fact, they have one eye, and you can tell it's been like stapled in place. And they have to like turn their head. It's very uncomfortable, and probably Gilwyn's like unable to look away.
Yeah.
The other one's like, what's your business in Lichvale?
We've brought a baker here for a client. She's very famous. What was her name? Kim? Something to do with baking.
Butter something?
Kim Butterdome. They just look at each other as like, who's the client? And she just goes, oh, a lady builder. And they're like, whoa, oh, that's not a surprise. And the one with the skull face is just like, that's funny. Oh, we're out here, and the mayor's getting fancy cakes. Ah, well, I probably wouldn't taste the cake anyway, so. Yeah, no, you can go in. I think that seems reasonable. You believe him? And everyone's like, yeah, I believe him. Why would they lie? Who would lie about something as innocent and sweet as cake? I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Okay, you can go in. But remember, and like this is the one with a skull face who has this voice. Just leans in to probably Vale, who's in front. It's like, don't do anything bad while you're in the city, otherwise you'll end up like us. And like the other one like knocks them and is like, don't. Look, they're not even scared. They've seen stuff like this before. Don't just, oh, Spike, you're being an idiot. And just kind of like leads them away back towards the camp. Which now that you're here near it, you can quite clearly tell is basically a war camp. This is not quite an army, but this is their militia being trained. And from the smell, they're mostly deadless.
Wow, that was a triumph. I'm gonna make a note of this. That was a huge success. And I'm gonna keep going.
Do you normally have this trouble?
No, I got what Dean was doing.
He got it.
I'm not happy about it. So you enter the city, and usually when you've entered a city, okay, you've entered Crimson Pounding, Aradia, and Goldport. Aradia, when you enter the city, you can't really tell, because you enter so many villages that become the city. You're just eventually like, oh no, we're in Aradia. Okay. Crimson Mountain, huge door, huge check-in, huge gate, flags everywhere, propaganda everywhere. Goldport, flags everywhere, large gate, get your papers checked, stuff like this. Here, there's no flags. There is a huge gate. Gate's open. There are guards. There are more deadless guards just sort of waiting outside, and they check, but they don't like actually like go up to you. They just like eye you over briefly. And no flags, and it's kind of empty because you go through the walls and you see that Lichvale is just this sort of empty, half-broken city. You're entering a place where these buildings, some of them are deliberately knocked down, some of them are abandoned. Although you can see, like, bustling life and activity a ways down. It's just that not everything is being built. Some building, like as you're walking down, there's a lot of buildings being built, a lot of buildings being fixed. There's people about, and they do kind of look at you. They're like, I don't know. They don't really give you too much attention as you you walk just further in. Because when you enter a city, you just walk further in before you sort of know what you're doing, right? But it's just quiet compared to cities. It's a very quiet city, which is because there's not many people here.
Wow.
This is eerie.
I don't know. I kind of like this. I mean, think about it. You can do anything you want without much of a distraction. I mean, there's no people buzzing about, no obnoxious, you know, people just kind of getting in your face. And I kind of like this place. There's something about it that just, you know what I'm saying? And I like turn to like everybody else.
It's actually
Amelia would kind of add to that, yeah.
Melody actually speaks up as well. It's like, Melody like this. Quieter than Northenden. Not many people.
And in this quiet, when Sid speaks up, he's even more shrill and annoying than usual. And Gil flinches and sort of, yeah, Sid, you're right. It's strangely serene and peaceful, I guess.
Something that definitely you entertains you, Gilwin, is as you get up closer to what you think actually might have been a courtyard in the old city, but is now like a little bit of a market. There's just a bard playing for like, and there's a hat on the ground that's got some coin in it. They're just playing a lute, quite casually, and they are a tiefling. They're just quite happily strumming along.
Hey, do you see that over there?
The player?
Yes, but have you ever seen one of them before?
Yes.
Yes.
We
They're,
broke into their apartment once.
Wait, what?
Go on, carry on. I'll tell you later.
So, in case you didn't know, they're part demon or devil or under creature. They have demonic blood running through their veins.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Okay, you're acting like this is something that's not astonishing. We're saying that at some point in time, a demon mated with something. That doesn't like
Bastilian.
Like an otherworldly creature comes from another place of existence, came over here and was like, "Hey, you and me, let's make a baby." And you don't find that astonishing?
It's
And
almost
the baby was viable?
It's almost like an elven god placing an entire race of elves upon Jarviskjir. Funny.
It's not the same as. We're not talking about something that was picked up and moved here.
No. We
Listen.
were created from the essence of the sun. There was no birth or existing viable species before.
I'm sure that's completely true.
Ah,
Well
my
founded
friends, the
craft
only
and
thing
science.
created by the sun is good tunes. You're having an animated conversation over there, and he just like strums. He's still playing. Very relaxed.
See, now look what you've done.
Melody
Sid.
hums along.
Ah.
I bet you're devilishly good at that thing. Please, what can you entertain us with?
I've never heard that before.
Oh, good, I'm the first.
He like immediately like flashes eyes to Gilwin, like, because he can just kind of tell, just like, are you serious?
I just shrug.
-1 insight.
No, I know, it's just funny.
I'll actually, when Melody starts humming along to this guy's lute, I'm like, motherfucker. And I'll take out my lute.
Ah, I thought I had a feeling you were a player as well, a songstress
blue
as
on
we
my
call
back?
them.
Did that give it away?
Well, you know, lots of people, they carry around musical instruments and they use them as cover to get anywhere they want to go, but you don't need to worry about something like that in Lichvale. Everything's good in Lichvale.
I'm sorry, are you on some form of drug?
Just good clean air that you definitely can't get in Goldport or Bastilian.
Right.
You know what, in Goldport the air smells like shit and fish, In Bastilian, you can't smell the air because your nose is about to freeze, or... But here, you can smell the air.
Do you... Oh, and then I check myself because I know I'm about to ask, do you know any Gallagher songs? And I don't want to ask that. So I just said, do you want to play?
Are you asking for a contest of wits and music?
Well, I was just asking to play with you, but now that you say that, yes.
Ah. Well, unless your friends have something more important to do, I can tell you are a party. And he kind of looks, and he definitely notices the sword and like the spigot that's probably always poking out of Sid's backpack and stuff. Not that he knows what the fuck that is.
Well, actually, yes, we did come on on business, but seeing as I spent 2 days waiting for these people, I think they can spare me 5 minutes to have a little bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, I guess something to work on. I'll be right back.
So, go ahead and give me a performance roll.
Melody can help Gil.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. You can help any way you want.
She draws out the battered lyre out of her bag and...
Okay, so... It's one of those things where... You actually both play pretty good music, and he's playing some fairly common songs in these kind of human areas that you know, Gil, when you actually grew up with them. So you play them quite well. And it's one of those things where it's a contest. It's a friendly contest, though. He's definitely like... It's not like an actual bardic battle, which, you know, could happen occasionally in some places.
Where you're not wagering 2 of your friends. For
yes, I was about to say.
May have happened in Jarviskjir before.
I got in a lot of trouble for that. I got so much shit for that, and they're like, thanks for saving my life. Literally resurrecting me after death. They're like, thanks, whatever. But like, no. God forbid you say I'll go on a date with someone for some important information.
So, it's one of those things where, Gil, you actually are almost perfectly evenly matched. These tunes are... He's very good at taking the originals and making something different. You maybe play some of your originals. You have Melody backing you up, which probably gives you an edge. It's one of the kind of things where none of you not really win. And he actually, when you're kind of... You stop, and there's a little bit of a crowd, because this is actually where people are, and there's a lot of people. Of course, you'd notice that most people are humans or halflings, but mostly humans. Actually, a lot of dwarves as well. Definitely goes humans, halflings, dwarves. And there's a bit of a crowd, and they do clap, and he actually like shakes your hand, and it's a very firm handshake, and it's like, you seem like a good friend to have.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. What's your name?
My name's Humble.
Your name's Humble.
Oh yes.
Nice to meet you, Humble. I actually like audibly chuckle at the name.
I've been told it's amusing occasionally.
I'm Gilwyn Gallagher, and this is my good friend, Melody.
Oh. Huh.
See?
Oh, I wish I chose that name.
Oh, you chose the name Humble.
Oh, yeah, we choose our names. You expect a parent to name a child exactly what they're going to become? No, even with the magic of my homeland, that seems... Well, I'm sure some people do it. Not my parents. Fucking rotters. And he just goes back to, like, strumming a random tune, because this... You can easily tell that he's a bard, he does this for a living. And he actually, especially after that performance, there's actually quite a bit of money in that hat. A couple of noble people dropped, like, actual gold in there.
Well, I'll put the loot back onto my back and go, well, that was fun. I'll see you around, Humble.
I'll see you around, Gilwyn Gallagher.
Melody?
Melody?
Shall we go?
Yes.
I'll look to see if the others are there.
Yeah. As we start, if we're happy, as we
Yeah.
start.
It's actually quite good you did that, because during that, Kim went and asked like a guard, and there's actually those guards outside are not the guards inside. The guards inside are human. and they are wearing similar outfits, but not exactly the same, and you can kind of tell that the guards don't have a uniform, but they do have a sort of a badge that's sort of a sign that they are a real guard, but they're not really that official. So she went and asked someone where they need to go, and would straight up say, Amelia was like, "Oh, we need to go there," and points to a big building on top of a hill.
Okay.
That's easy enough to find.
Yeah. No, I thought it'd be harder too. And you totter up. One of you grabs Sid, because
Gil, I didn't know that all bards had parental issues.
I'm gonna hit you.
So you go up to this place. It is a lovely old manor, 3 stories, but it's one of those things where you know there's something in the attic. They've probably done something with the attic. You can tell immediately when you go up there that this place had quite a lot of land and it was walled off with an old stone wall. The wall has actually been knocked down, allowing it to be more open, like a communal area. And actually right now, because it is the heat of summer right now, which makes this open city quite lovely to be in. A lot of their doors and windows are open. And you can see people bustling around inside. On the way up here, you pass a lot more noble buildings. Most of them have been completely knocked down. Like, either have been destroyed by other things, or just completely knocked down or are being rebuilt. There's a lot of, like, wooden frames of buildings around as you walk. But you go up to this place, and Kim kind of leads with Amelia. And goes up to someone, and the main bottom floor of this area, actually quite similarly, a lot of walls have been knocked down, but there are still structural pillars to make it be quite open plan. And she's like, "Oh, need to talk to, I'm here for Lady Builder." And someone who they talk to is like, "Oh, okay. And your name?" And they talk for a bit, and you hear it, but none of it's interesting. And she goes off with them. And then he comes back a little bit later, is like, You were gonna get paid when she got here, right? I assume. One of those. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
He goes and talks to someone else who is a red-skinned tiefling woman for a little bit, and then comes back with 1 coin purse that has 500 gold in it, and sort of hands it to Amelia because that's who he was more or less talking to. So. Yeah, thank you for escorting her here. We know sometimes things can be a little difficult. We have the guard outside. They deal with most of the problems. But, you know, travel's never safe. Always worth a bodyguard, in my opinion.
Of course. Is there anything else you guys need? You got your halfling?
You got the halfling. He kind of looks over you all again. He's like, how, handy are you?
Pretty handy.
This chap is, and I sort of like shove Sid.
I don't mean like a builder. We have builders. I mean like a warrior.
Oh.
We don't have any of those here. Melody's kind of a warrior.
Melody can fight.
He kind of just makes his face
alive.
like.
Oh no, trust me, she wallops.
I kind of
Pretty
was
good.
hoping you were an adventuring party traveling the world in seek of fame and fortune.
Oh no, not in the least bit. Well, I'm actually a tinkerer and an inventor, and I'm really just trying to finish my inventions.
Sid!
You're not here for fulcrum, are you?
What is it exactly that you need?
Oh.
What is it exactly that you need?
Well, you'd talk to the mayor. I don't know the specifics. She's just looking for strong-armed folk.
Oh, we're a little unconventional, but we're handy.
We all have arms.
Well, you know, sometimes around here that can't be certain.
Oh shit.
No,
Melody
don't worry. None of those monsters are inside the city walls.
When Gil says that, Melody actually reaches out, sort of puts her hand around his arm, and is like, noticing how thin it is because he's just a beanpole.
You can put like 3 of Gilwyn's arms in Melody's one arm.
Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah, it's like, no, don't. I know you're probably new here. No, I know you saw the monsters outside. They keep us safe from other stuff. We inside, they're not inside. If they're inside, they have permission, probably from the mayor. You know, and
So,
that means
Why are they monsters?
They were quite nice, and you say they protect you, and you're calling them monsters.
Yeah.
It's an easier term that everyone understands. They call themselves so many different names. It's simplification. And when you work in office like me, you'd want to simplify for the masses.
Well, it seems fucking rude.
Well, that seems rude to me, dear. But if you want a job, I can talk to the mayor. You seem like you might be the type, and in fact, unconventional is usually the kind of thing she likes. And he goes over and talks to that tiefling woman over there for a little while.
I was gonna say, does the mayor pay well?
He's already kind of... Well, he kind of like nods and is like, yeah. Well, I mean, you could also get some property in it if you wanted.
Dale, do you reckon... Well, we could potentially
He'd
go to...
I mean, the first thing I wanted to point out was we still have a coin purse with 500 gold in it to distribute.
I think... fine. You greedy bastard. Get your gold.
Well, you know, I just don't want Amelia to get paid for all of our work. Obviously. You want to get paid for the work you did, but fair's fair.
Yeah, sure. Do you
So,
Man, it kind of feels like
Ollie,
a soup
what was
kitchen
the-
here. Everybody start doling it out.
what was the conditions of my contract with the money involved here, Ollie?
You'd get the 100 gold when you got her here.
Mhm.
But it's one of those things they probably just assumed that you were traveling as a group, so they gave you more. So you easily would figure out that
Yeah,
this
so
is all meant for
I
you.
would immediately give him like the amount of money he asked for.
Yeah, so you'd give Sid and Vale 100, and you give Dean 200 because Dean Gil and Karen's
I don't think I would know that. So I would go to hand to Melody.
Well, you'd probably have it explained to you by now.
Yeah, if you held it out, Melody would sort of take it and just sort of like look at it confusedly.
Thank you, Melody. if at any point you want this back, all you have to do is give me those puppy eyes. Say Melody. Click your heels. I'm kidding. I'll give you it back whenever you want.
So after you sort of do this, which probably takes like 5-10 minutes, because you know you got to dole out coins and make sure it's the right amount.
2.
Yeah, and Sid's
Actually,
being
I probably have a
obnoxious.
scale.
You do have scales, I think. Actually, in
Yeah.
one of your packs. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
weigh the right amount of gold. That tiefling
20
woman walks
coins
over.
is a pound, right? No, 50 coins is a
Okay.
pound, so 2 pounds. Boom.
Yeah, the tiefling woman walks over. She has red skin, but it's the kind of thing where it's like almost tinting on purple. Her horns go straight up. She's wearing clothes that are practical but well made. It's like almost leather armor. Kind of similar to the sort of stuff Sid wears, but a lot bigger and fancier, and actually
What
like
bigger? Because she's a tiefling.
because she's a
and
tiefling,
he's a gnome.
and he's a gnome. Do you get it? But you know, she looks good. She has like a very stern but like comforting smile. It's a very weird one, like on her face, and she kind of looks over you all and is like, "Well, I am so glad that I didn't have to go over to that pub to find people. I'm glad that people just strolled right into my lap."
You must be the mayor.
Yes, my name is Lady Builder, but I don't necessarily like being called the mayor. If you called me the mayor, that would suggest that I'm, you know, officially in office. I just have now taken control of Lichvale, not in a mean way, in a harsh way. I didn't even want to do it in the first place. I was sort of elected. They elected me. Yes, mayor, but I prefer Lady Builder.
So you've been in Lichvale your whole life? and
No,
you've just-
no one who's been in Lichvale before is still here. They're all dead, unless you were a relative who went away and came back. We have a lot of those. No, I was born in the north. I came down here to try and make Lichvale a better place. It has so much potential.
How long ago was that?
Well, I rushed here as soon as I found out the curse was lifted.
So we heard you might have work for us?
Yes, absolutely, I do. I have... Well, I don't have a problem. Lichvale has a problem. You know of the Deadless outside, correct?
Yes. Yes.
I have no issue with them personally. I actually try to do my best to help them. Often they come to me with asking permission to the city, and I allow it for many things. Sometimes they want to see their graves, sometimes they need checkups, alchemy, that sort of thing. So I do my best to help them, but not all are good. And I'm not saying that like not all Deadless are good. I know better than that. I know that not all people are good. But I also have been paying attention greatly to the Deadless. I was here before they started coming up from the ground. I saw it with my own eyes. I didn't see the first, but still. I know that they have a battle lust, and I know that not all of them are willing to guard the city. I know that many of them have turned to banditry under one flag, under one person.
We encountered some deathless raiders, in fact. They were in Stableside, so far north, and killed several people before we slew them.
I can't allow that. Especially if I'm going to be mayor of Lichvale, it's my duty to make sure that something coming from Lichvale doesn't go north and hurt Northumberland. That is just terrible. I find that terrible. And she actually pauses and looks at Melody. Melody is wearing their armor. So she's like, "Ah, yes, you did meet with them, the coin claws."
The coin claws. That is what they're called. We spoke with a deathless in, where was it now? Londmend? It was far north.
Wow, you sure have been traveling the world lately.
And, he spoke of a faction separation between the good and the bad deathless, so to speak. And we were hoping to find out information about a specific deadless, which we would supply details of, and perhaps we could help you if you were to help us.
There are a lot of old records in the city, but they're not easy to get to. Old records, well, all of the Deadless are people that died here. So if you give me details about your companion, I might be able to find more about what they were in life. Lichvale kept very good records, almost worryingly good. In fact, some of the people in charge seem to be keeping too close an eye on some individuals, something I want to make sure doesn't really happen again. Lichvale should be about freedom. Yes, so I can help you with that, if you help me with this. I'll also throw in payment accordingly. If you can disband their bandit group, that would be excellent. If you can... Well, I don't really want you to bring me the head of the bandit leader. He might still be moving if you bring me his head, but if you can bring me certainty that he's... I don't really like getting you to kill them, even if they are deadless. But you understand what I mean.
I think we understand.
I can offer more payment if you take care of their leader, a dwarf.
Yes, we heard that it was a dwarven deadless, actually. A friend up north mentioned it, though I only remember recalling now. How many of these bandits are there?
I wish I could give you a better number. Sizable. They've almost made... Well, they raided a thorp nearby and have turned it into their private little slice of land. It's incredibly uncomfortable. Numbers... I mean, at least 50. Maybe 100, maybe more. That's why I don't want you to eradicate them. That would be too hard, too much.
Far beyond that means, nonetheless.
Exactly, no. But you can disband bandits without murdering each and every one of them. I know that, and I hope that you know that. I'd feel more comfortable with that anyway. Maybe without a bad influence, the Deadless will, if at least not return here, at least
so if we're able to deal with the leader in some way.
Yes. I also have heard mention that there's a second in command that is making their... That's why they're so organized. But I don't deal in secrets, despite my blood.
Probably worth something picking up if you're planning on leading the city, or someone who is adept at it.
I can hire someone for that.
Well, just make sure they don't keep secrets from you.
Yes, no, I'm aware. No, yes, becoming mayor of a city like this on the up and up is going to be a difficult task. Absolutely. I don't need you telling me that.
You mentioned a captain of the guard. Perhaps he would know more details about the camp that the Deathless have created?
Yes, you know, it's quite interesting, really. A dwarf runs our captain of the guard, and a dwarf led the others astray. I doubt there's any connection, but it is... Some people say there's no such thing as a conspiracy, or a coincidence, which in many cases ends up seeming like a conspiracy. No, the captain of the guard... If you're going to be working in Lichvale, there's something you should really know. When it comes to places of power, you have me, you have the Plague Church, and you have the captain of the guard. Dighton Rockshaper. He can be found in the... outside, in the camp. He leads our Deadless into shape, making them a good fighting force defending the city. If you can't find him, try and find Fulcrum. Fulcrum, I believe he gave him some kind of magic item so that they can talk together. Yes, weird. I should not judge people for their names. But, yes, he might be able to give you more information. Most of the bandits, well, all of the bandits were judged forth by the midwife. All of the Deadless were judged forth by the midwife in the last few months, but many of these Deadless were original, so to speak, older, but many of them younger.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this individual. The midwife?
We have one Deadless. I can understand you wouldn't understand this. I barely understand it. Long ago, well, 2 years ago or so, after everything was starting to settle back in, less than 2 years, they started appearing, the Deadless. There were mass graves in the city to deal with the bodies, and outside of them, and there were catacombs long under the city that have been there for aeons, some say several thousands of years. They just started rising. Not all at once, they would just wander out, and we would escort them out, or we wouldn't kill them, we would be confused, we would push them away. I had less part in this, I tried to find out more. Eventually, when we worked out what was going on more, the midwife came into play. She's one of them, a Deadless, but she can tell when they're birthing, when they're wriggling, when they want to be alive again, and seeks into the city to help them, and due to our agreements, she brings them back to Rockshaper. Not necessarily to be trained, we let them choose their own path, but often the ones who end up as bandits are trained for some time before they leave, unfortunately. We think that the training will whip them into shape, give them some sort of regimen, but they are impossible to understand. It'd be like me trying to understand a dolphin. You know what a dolphin is, yes?
Yes. Well, can you blame them?
No.
I mean, no, you can't blame the dolphins.
That's why I don't want... That's why I don't want you to kill all of the Deadless. I can't blame them. They've merely been led astray from a good, righteous path, I think.
Anyone would want to kick back if they woke up and had a sword shoved in their hand. I know I would.
Well, perhaps we should get this started then. We will give you our friend's name and go and deal with the matter. Now, do you have his family name? I know him as Forak Grow, but I believe he had a different family name inscribed on the artifact that Caitlin took.
I know him as Forak Grow as well. Knew him as Forak Grow as well.
Potentially
you may find a different family name if you look into it.
Forak Grow. Are you sure? That, you know what that translates to?
No.
Yes, dwarven names are often meant to represent meanings, but usually the last name. Usually the first name is like many names. Forak Grow translates to empty stone. So I feel like that's not family name. That's most likely a deadless name. They do get named by one another.
Perhaps you could inquire among the deadless. They may know something. Or perhaps the midwife.
That is a good idea. I will have my people look into this while you look into this for me. I think that's a fair deal.
Please. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, I'll have a contract written up for you. all of us?
Yes.
Yes, why not?
Yeah, sure. That seems entirely fair.
How much were you willing to pay us?
Now, that is a question Let's look at all of you together. Let's say 150 gold if you can push them all away. If you can kill their leader, I'll move it up to 250.
Can I do like an insight check to see if that's like a fair price?
Yeah, insight check. I mean, yeah.
Cool. Would that be an insight? I don't really know.
Insight makes sense. Seems fairish. I mean, the thing is about money, 2 gold is how much a commoner earns in a year. So getting more than 2 gold in a job is good.
Right.
You, of course, are interested in, like, fair for everything. It's one of those things where you actually already can figure out less than insight. It's like, she's probably going to pay you a little less because she's helping you with another thing. It's probably going to cost her money. But it's not unfair. It's not like she's being duplicitous.
Right. Is there like a town, or sorry, a store in this town where we could buy supplies?
Oh yes, we have lots of stores, general stores. We have a alchemist. Also, if you want potions, you might be able to buy them from the Plague Church.
Okay.
Yep, sounds like the place you want to get something you want to drink from.
Do you say that like loud enough?
A bottle of liquor.
Yes, fair enough. But just you wait, it'll go down I was trying to think of something good to say, but it'll go down well with the deadless. A nice necromantic hit.
That's actually is that why you did it? That's a good idea.
Nothing better to get them to talk, no? Some liquor they can actually feel.
Okay, so Amelia would just drop like a quick contract for him. Yep,
that's fair. She would check it. She would have some other people check it, but she would agree. She would say, if you're looking for supplies and you can't find anything in the shop, go to the Thirst Quencher. A lot of you adventurer mercenary types hang out there. Might be able to barter.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that everything you need for now? I will look into your friend at the earliest convenience.
You had questions, Sid?
Yeah, first of all, these deadless, it's an interesting name, we've discussed it before, but these deadless, we keep talking about dwarves, like a dwarf leading them, a dwarf doing this, their friend was a dwarf, but most of the ones that I've seen, or maybe all of them that I've seen so far, aren't dwarves. They seem like they came from the corpses of humans.
Human.
Yeah,
Deadless a human. There's the one dwarf, and he's leading the bandits, the coin claws.
And their friend was a dwarf. I thought you were saying that the woman that rises them was a dwarf too.
No. Well,
misheard.
You know, I believe we actually looked up her paperwork. She had giant blood in her. Very interesting.
Oh,
I'm curious about these things.
But you mean Goliath or giant?
I mean giant. She like actually like knowing that you know gives you like a little bit of that look. No, I thought there was only the one dwarf. I'll have to check that. Maybe 2. We did find it strange. All
so
the
what's
others
the
are human.
demographic breakdown?
All human, 1, perhaps 2 dwarf, 1 giant blood, which is to say.
Have you compared that to population? Like, from
it is true that Lichvale was nearly all human, but there must have been more travelers in the city. Go to any human city, maybe perhaps Goldport, and you'll find members of other races. You know, a dwarf working the forge, an elf making wine, a tiefling
it kind of makes
being
sense because
the mayor.
every race has its own natural things that they're a bit resistant to, like they have a bit of a resilience to them, right? Like everybody knows you don't try to charm an elf, right? There's silver-tongued bastards are really good at resisting that stuff. Just like, you know, you don't try to poison a dwarf. So maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe it's just humans are extremely susceptible to this type of necromantic magic.
Hold that thought, little gentleman. Tell that to Fulcrum.
Oh, yeah. You're
He'll
probably
like
just
that.
hiring us. Okay. Here.
He researches the deadless. He's trying to work out. He's trying to cure them.
I'm sure you're a very, very busy woman, and I do not mean to waste your time. Sorry.
Time's
We'll
not
get on
wasted, sir. Time not wasted. But yes, get on it. And she kind of takes a few steps back and then turns around and goes to a table nearby.
May Builder.
Hmm?
I reach out my right hand for a handshake.
She shakes your hand, and this is the first time I think you've touched a tiefling. She's just very warm, and it's very warm in this room, so she's like uncomfortable to touch actually a little bit.
Keeping that in the back of my mind the best I can, I just said genuinely, thank you very much. I appreciate this.
She nods and goes back to basically whatever she was doing beforehand, which seemed to be something over in the other side of the room with tables and scrolls and all that sort of stuff.
Well, Phil?
Yes?
What now?
We go talk to Titan, I believe it was, the captain of the guard. And now you mention it, Sid, perhaps it's not so much the humans being susceptible to necromantic magic, but humans are much more resistant to death. Elves, dwarves, all live longer. Humans spend much longer of their life resisting death. Anyway, Titan.
Wow.
I don't know. Because this is, I mean, I'm not going to. I will take a note of that and certainly try to insert it into the findings that we come across along the way. It doesn't seem to make sense to me now, but you're not wrong. I mean, it is a factor. I'm just curious to see how this breaks down. And he leans in a little bit closer, like kind of gesturing for you to bend down and lean in. Tell me you're not interested in finding yourself like a deathless gnome or a deathless elf. I mean, a deathless orc? What would that be like?
Pretty horrific considering the
Exactly. It's incredible. Think of what could come of it.
I'm telling you, Sid, you should start comparing populations before you get carried away with your theories.
Oh, I understand that the base population is probably very lenient towards humans. We're nowhere near Elvish lands, and we're nowhere near Gnomish lands, so we're probably not going to find them here. But that doesn't change the facts that...
Also consider taking out travelers. Perhaps it was just citizens of Lichvale who were cursed.
Yeah, but the idea that it was solely humans or almost completely humans as opposed to predominantly humans? No, predominantly, sure, but... I suppose if we factor in percentage, and we say 1 in 100, but there were like less than 100 of this race, less than 100 of that race, just no, you're right. I will search
Sometimes I wish that you two were just strong-armed, brawly bastards, and didn't talk about this sort of shit so much.
Well, to be fair, I could craft together a potion or something like that. Maybe she could assist me. It would really dull the senses and increase the physical capacity. We could feed it to you, though I don't know if it'd do much.
Sid.
Oh, absolutely. I can make myself stronger than any strong-armed man.
Oh, well, there you go. The lady knows. Me, personally, my strong-arm days are long since past. Besides, there's more of a strong wrist, if you know what I mean. Like all that cranking of a wrench.
Right, yes.
Let's go. Let's go.
Where are you going?
Titan.
So you're going outside the town into the camp?
Oh, do you want to
I thought we were
stop
getting provisions
at a shop?
first.
I was going to say, do you want to
Yeah.
shop first? What do you want to buy? What are you buying?
Ooh, I would offer, Sid, like if he wants to put down the material components for it, I can put locks on his equipment and stuff for his research.
Valid question. How is Sid carrying around the disc?
Melody has to.
Is it strapped to Melody's back like a satellite disc dish?
She's probably just like holding it.
It
in
can be
front
on a
of her,
horse.
Like,
It could be on the
It's-
horses.
it's light,
I was just
isn't it?
wondering. I just had a thought.
Because we've not been galloping, it could easily be tied to a horse on the side.
I mean, if it was an option, I would totally have a tether between, because there's like a hole in the middle or whatever. I would totally have a tether between it and like a Vale's horse, which I usually sit on, and totally sit on it and like try to control it. But from time to time, do a little too much and it flops down and it pisses Vale off. But then like pick it up again, and once again, it's like a levitate being dragged along.
I mean,
Like,
you could set that up another time, to be fair.
I would totally do that because that's Sid. Oh,
I have a set of studded leather armor to sell.
Oh, yeah.
I have things I want to make. Harumph.
Hurrah.
Harumph. Looking at
Aaron, what did you just talk about doing with me?
Oh, if you
Round
wanted, I could cast Arcane Lock on your stuff, so people can't go into it.
That's right. So there's a really cool thing that your character, because that's like what the flippity flip she does, should be able to make. Yeah, I got one right here for you, Aaron. Lock of Trickery, baby.
What?
So, yeah, you can sell that for 35 gold.
35, nice.
I don't remember what it is.
I'll send you a picture.
Okay, so I only read the stuff that was interesting to me, and I was like, here you go, Scott.
The question
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
with that,
Take
Scott,
this
are
one.
those things going to become stuff that you add to the list of things you can, like, temporarily make, or are they going to become... Or are you just going to make them?
Oh, I totally want to make some of these items because they're items that like my character would use. Temporary make ones, sure, that'd be nifty, I guess. But I think like because the whole idea is that they're super common, super like they're like half the value of typical common
Oh,
items.
is that, I haven't read the book yet.
One of them, Ollie, is make a charisma save or be forced to smile for a minute.
Wow.
It's a wand of
Nice.
smiles. Like
Ah.
it's like weaker stuff, but it's fun.
Yeah, okay. At one point, I'll probably, when I got the book, I'll say what you
Yeah.
can make.
Yep, that's why I sent you the pictures in case you're like, oh yeah, I like this one.
You can work towards one of X until I can read all of X. But yeah, do you want to, what other sort of like basic supplies you want to get before we end the stream, more or less? There's a couple of general stores, there's a couple of more specific stores. Hey,
I want to get some warmer, maybe darker coloured clothes.
oh, you can absolutely buy like a new set of clothes. Or, wait, you wear armor, so you'd want to wear a new set of armor, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
What type do you wear? You wear like regular leather?
Mm-hmm.
That's 10 gold. You would easily get something more comfortable, like something that comes with a cloak.
Yeah.
Something that would be nicer for... Do you want something warmer for the cold, or something easier to deal with the warm?
Warmer for the cold.
Cool. That's fine.
Cool.
Trade out. Do you sell the thing back to him, or do you just keep your old clothes, like, somewhere?
I'd probably sell them.
Sure.
I wouldn't feel
Then
the
you'd
need.
probably just be able to trade it for like 5 gold, because he'd be like, "Oh no, this is good, Nick. It's sellable with some repairs." Like, you'd be able to do some. This place seems way more willing to barter than, or trade barter more than like just no. This is the price, you buy it. Because there's less here, they probably get less traders and other stuff, so they kind of value stuff a little more. Is there anything more specific that you wanted? If you want health potions, that's going to be a whole thing. You can do it. It'll be a thing.
Maybe not health potions. I would probably take some with me and see if I can get some like alchemical, like gold, like dust. I'd probably take Sid because he'd be able to identify that probably more easily than I could.
What do you want, like gold dust?
Yeah, it's a material component.
I have no idea how much that would be.
Well,
Probably
how
not
much is
much,
for-
huh?
I would get 25 gold worth.
Oh,
or 50.
yeah, that's fine then. That's one of those things
always-
where you probably take a long time going around, but you would be able to find someone that has it. But yeah, what were you about to
Oh,
say,
did
Scott?
you read Oots before or no? I can't remember.
What?
Order of the Stick or no? Okay, so there's a joke in there where a wizard sends their apprentice to go buy a 10,000 gold piece diamond because it's a requirement for a spell. And so the apprentice comes out of the shop and he's like, "Oh, look, I got this on a great discount. I got it for only 3,000 gold pieces." He's like, "No, you don't understand this. No, you go back in there and you give him the other 7,000 gold right now." Because the whole idea is that if you don't pay for it, it doesn't count.
Right.
So, anyways.
Yep. Anything else you quickly want to pick up?
Healing potions.
Probably potions, yeah.
They probably have
Potions.
some really nifty common like first level spells here, just because of the area, right? Maybe no.
Even in Bastillion, you can't really buy spells.
Ah, okay.
You can buy scrolls in some places. This the functioning city is too small to have a magic shop, more or less.
Right.
So no. But it's one of those things, if you actually spent a long time in the city asking around, you probably would be able to find someone who would be willing to sell you spells, more or less. You know, like, oh, I'll look at your spell book if you can look at mine. That kind of thing. Plus a little extra gold. That is a thing that you can probably do nearly anywhere where there are spellcasters. Yeah, alright, well, what you will for potions we can deal with next time. That can be the first thing you deal with next week! Hey! We made it. We made it. Oh, we made it. So, let's start.
Actually, I have to ask, Ollie, is there a really interesting shop here, an artificer here, an inventor here, anybody that works on those kinds of things?
Yes, Fulcrum.
Oh, cool. I'm going to spend so much time at Fulcrum when we meet
That's
him.
why you've been pointed to Fulcrum so much, Scott. That's why everyone told you to talk to Fulcrum. So, let's start our Wheel of Shame and Pain with Erin. Erin Rinson, who are you? How do you do? Why do you do?
I'm doing pretty well. And I'm Rinson on Twitch and Twitter, and I'm really active on the Discord, and I play D&D here, and I played D&D on Friday with Scott. That's about it.
Neil, who are you? Why do you do?
Why do I do? Well, now that is a very deep question, my friend. And I will take the next 50 minutes to explain it.
No, don't frank it up.
I'm Neil. Some queries as to how to say my gamer handle, whatever you want to say. I'm that_ on Twitter. If you want to know anything about Jarviskjir, then you can ask. One of my other characters is involved in shaping of where we are. Dighton is actually employed by my other character. So there's some interesting stuff there. I'm really excited to see what's going on in Lichvale. And this is all I do, other than other stuff that I do in my life. But in terms of what you'll see me do, that's it.
Wait, Neil. Sorry. Hold that pose. That makes you look like you've got a massive hunchback. Holy crap.
So for Dean's amusement, I'm going to be in this position for a few more minutes.
Your arms are gonna ache, boy.
That's it. You guys should subscribe to Scott and Ollie and throw bits at them, because we like publicly stoning people. It's the modern way to do it. And they work really hard at this stuff.
Dean! Why Dean?
Well, I do terrible videos on my YouTube account.
Lies.
So if you
Fake
want to go
news.
watch terrible videos,
Fake
go to
news.
youtube.com/DeanCurry.
I mean,
And
they're
if you want
here
to
watching this, so they want terrible content.
just say,
Hey.
It's true. I'm not pretending. I know what I am.
and youtube.com/Judge Mathis if you want to watch videos of an American guy talk about old games with my hands flying everywhere, because I edit for that guy. Dean Cutty everywhere, Twitter, YouTube, X-Hamster. We've done that joke a million times.
You've done that joke too many times.
But I'm there.
Arvine.
Not a joke. You still
Question
haven't been
mark?
to visit. He's upset.
Yeah. No, Melody. Arvine, yes. If it's got a question mark after it, it's got to be
That's true.
Random person who joins in these games because I get a free pass. If you want to ask questions about my characters, and I've got like 4 of them in Jarviskjir, or just Jarviskjir world, much similar to Neil, but I'm a bit less experienced than him with Jarviskjir. Otherwise, only follow me if you want to read random shit tweets about anime and stuff. If you don't want to read those, go follow Ollie and Dean instead.
I thought that's always
King of which.
What?
What happened last week was I read a random tweet
Oh,
from your
you
timeline,
do this again?
and I want to do that again. I want to make it a thing.
Oh, that's bad. You know what is funny? Because it's karma. Because Arvine used to troll my Twitter before a D&D game to try and get hints at what they might come against in D&D game. So it's just karma.
So this one is from November 10th.
Oh god, when's this gonna be?
That's
First line, all caps. Oh, holy fuck, lol. Now that's how you pull over on people.
That's not that bad. It has an image bar.
It's just funny out of context.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about out of context.
If I may, hold on. From now on, you have to roll 2d20, and that's how many tweets down you have to read from.
That's
truly randomize it.
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
Speaking about truly randomized, Scott!
Hi.
Why Scott?
What's going on?
Do
Delric.
Scott?
Google Delric, Daelric. You'll find me. Other than that, you'll find me on Lost Initiative. You find me here, but I won't be here next week. I'm so sorry. I won't be here next week. I'm
We actually were
Thanksgiving.
nearly gonna do like some side quest stuff, but actually the only person we're gonna miss for dumb old Thanksgiving is Scott. So we're actually gonna continue the quest.
Yeah. So you guys exactly go on without Salony. He'll totally be distracted. I'm excited to see what happens. I'll probably put you on the background while I'm doing stuff, just because it'll be like really good like background listening to, and occasionally comment and chat. But I'll do that while I'm like sitting in my kitchen and going, because that's how you cook things.
That's how Sid cooks.
Yeah. Pretty good background listening and stuff.
I mean, if you guys want, you could pop me into Discord with you, and I could just like chat with you during the session, and I'll just throw in random comments.
I'm Ollie. I'm here.
You're a person that exists.
I exist, or do I? I'm here today. When I feel like it, I'm on the Wednesday show before this, which is Mass Effect. I do art streams on Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 PM BST, and after the art streams, I play The Sims. Well, I'm not sure how much longer we'll play The Sims for, but probably for a while, because I probably won't decide on anything else to play. And then on Sundays, I'm playing Mario Odyssey, although again, I don't know how much longer I'll play Mario Odyssey for. So, that's it, that's me. I do arts and D&D, and you're already here, so you know who I am, maybe. So that's that.
Art is good. You should get arts done for you either via Patreon or commission.
Yeah,
It's
if you
good
Patreon, you might be able to make a character that could show up in this show. While they're in Lichvale, is the perfect time to slide an NPC into their DMs, you know?
Yeah, and then Dean can hump him.
Maybe!
That's what
There's
I
a
want
super
out of my
special
character.
surprise reward if you end up creating an NPC that Dean humps.
Boom.
No, there isn't. Anyway, that's it. We're done. We're over. Everyone have a lovely day, or don't.
See you next week,
I don't tell you how to live your life.
Let's all do peace.